Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the campus of Suffield Academy on a beautiful October night for Suffield's night home opener. We'll be hosting Taft, the Taft School. Both teams come in with 1-2 records. We should have a fantastic competitive game tonight. Last time these teams played was 10 years ago at Suffield, with Suffield coming out on top 35-6. Taft coached by Tyler Whitley and Suffield coached by Chris Sedian. Both coaches, alums of their respective schools. Tyler Whitley, 2004 grad of Taft, is in his 14th season as the head coach, and Chris Sedian in his 3rd season as the head coach of the Tigers. Taft has been highly competitive throughout Whitley's tenure as the head coach in the Founders League. And Suffield, a member of the New England Football Conference, so a couple rival conferences here tonight, and should be a great football game. Taft is going to start by kicking off, and deep for Suffield is Bryce Summers. Summers coming off a couple great weeks. Scored 8 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks, so we'll see if we can get some fireworks right off the bat here. And the kick is deep, and Summers will let it go through the end zone, so Suffield will take over on the 25 to start. I mentioned both teams 1-2, and pretty similar in terms of their outcomes. All games have been competitive. Taft opened the season with a loss at Cheshire, then had an exciting overtime victory over Loomis, and then last week lost to a very strong Dexter team in really what was a competitive game. Taft moved the ball often, but just couldn't find the end zone, and Dexter managed some big plays to account for the final score. So Suffield takes over to start. And Summers will be in the backfield. Finn Bjork will be the H-back here to start for Suffield. He's off to the near side. The snaps back to McKenzie, who looks and throws, and it's just out of the reach of Alec Asutorian. McKenzie, sophomore quarterback for Suffield, is a real talent. Had a great second half last week at Brunswick. Suffield fell into a hole early, but was able to battle back, and final score wound up 56-49. But I thought it was a great second half for McKenzie, and we'll see if he can take it into this week. So 2nd and 10 now to Suffield, for Suffield. Snap back that gives to Summers. Summers, penetration there by the Taft defensive line, and he's brought down. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Taft has an excellent defensive front with a really strong interior. They've got 2 outstanding defensive tackles, as well as their linebacker, Steve Soares, who's just a sophomore. The tackles, Brian Oliver and Jude Okoleke. 3rd and 10, and the pass is to Bjork, and it's just out of his reach. McKenzie on the half roll and couldn't connect. There is a flag down on a play. Looks like Bjork would have had some running room if he had caught it, but the call is going to be holding against Taft. That's going to give Suffield an automatic first down, and they'll get a new set of downs. So a break early for Suffield, and they'll be 1st and 10 now at the 35-yard line. Receivers for Suffield to start here, Asatorian And sophomore Kai Young and Lucas Pappas up on the outside. So they are one back with 3 set. There's a handoff to Summers. Got a good block on the outside to the left. He's ahead for about 5 yards before he's stuck there. Tackle there made by J.P. Antonio. He's a talented safety for Taft. But it's a pickup of 5 on the play. Bring up 2nd and 5. Suffield at their best when they have some balance. So to pick up 5 on first down is a good gain. It gives them some flexibility here on second down. Can be a run or pass. The H-back Bjork is offset to the top with the tight end. Shotgun snap to McKenzie. He's got some pressure early, and he is going to go down. That's Okaleke with the tackle. I mentioned the talented interior front for Taft, and they were able to pressure McKenzie early, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 9. And Suffield's going to call their first timeout. Taft has been good at pressuring the quarterback in their games, and Suffield's offensive line, which is also talented, is going to need to be at their best tonight. It's one of the great matchups in this one is Suffield's offensive line is big and powerful. They've been excellent in the run game, but they're facing maybe their toughest defensive front, particularly on the interior there. So 3rd and 9 here for Suffield. And they come out with 2 receivers down to the near side here. And their true spread here with their H-back Bjork is in the slot. So it's true spread. 1 back is Summers. Taft likes to blitz on 3rd and longs, so let's see if they bring it here. They're showing it, and they do. They bring the backers, but they get the ball away. McKenzie, and it's just off the hands of Bjork on the outside. That's the target he wants to hit. Looked like the ball would have been a really good catch by Bjork, but McKenzie put it where only he could get it, but just out of his reach. So Taft gets the stop on the first possession, and that'll bring up a punt for Suffield. Alec Asutorian will be the punter. And the snap is good. A little bit of pressure, but he gets it off. It's going to need a roll here, and he gets it. So got a great bounce for Suffield. And that'll be downed at the 20-yard line. So Taft will take over at their 20. And their Taft offense comes up. They're led by senior quarterback Gilbert Kimren, who's from Sweden. He missed his junior year with an injury and is back here for his senior year. He's got talent. He's big. He's about 6'5". Has some mobility for his size and really has a nice arm. Gets the ball out fast. Has had some issues with accuracy, but that's natural given the early part of the season. So he'll take the shotgun snap, and the pass is wide, and it was an incomplete pass, and that was to the tailback, Xavier Hairston. Was close to a backwards pass there, but I think the ball did go forward. Of course, if it did go backwards, that one could be picked up by Suffield and run. So Hairston's the back, and Kimren's going to take the snap. And it's a give to Hairston up the middle, and there's no room for him there as the Suffield defense is able to stop him. Tristan Sanders, first one to the ball carrier, and that's a loss on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 12 for Taft. Taft also is best when they're balanced. They like to run the ball on the inside zone. They'll run some split zone in between the tackles, but they'll mix it up. They've got some talented receivers on the outside as well. So 3rd and 12, Suffield advantage here. It's a quick pass. That is out to, can't get the number there, but I'll get it for you with the shirt tucked in a little bit. I believe that was Tyler Spellman. So Suffield stops, and that's a 4th and 5, and Taft is back to punt. Good series for the Tigers defensively to start. Had a loss of down, an incomplete pass, and then a slight gain. There's pressure on the punter, but he gets it off. Kai Young is deep, but he lets the ball go, and this has been an issue for the Tigers. They need to find someone who'll get up and catch the ball, because that's about 20 yards it's going to cost them. So good punt there by Taft, and they'll take over. Suffield will take over on the, looks like the 27-yard line. So both defenses come out with stops. We expected a competitive game, and so far the defenses certainly have proved that they may make it that. So McKenzie taking the snap. And the give is to Summers. Summers up the middle. Oh! Taft, a lineman, just got their hands on the ball. It looked like Brian Oliver, as he was scooting through a good-sized hole, and he looked like he had some room to run, but Oliver causes the fumble, and Taft will recover and take over. Boy, that was one of those plays that could really swing things, because Summers was just about to get out in the open, but Oliver managed to get a hand on it and knock it out, and Taft will take over. It's a big play for Taft on the 34-yard line. The good in that for Suffield was that there was a hole there, and Summers was getting ready to go, but you got to hold on to the ball. So Taft takes over. They've got 2 receivers down to this side. That's Okendo and Thomas Regan, but the handoff goes to Hairston, and there is Finn Bjork, a two-way player for Suffield, exceptional player, who's in the backfield from his defensive end spot, and that's another loss for Taft on the run play. So good response there by the Suffield defense, much needed. That'll force Taft into a 2nd and 12. Taft now 2-by-2. They got their receivers stacked on both sides. Kimron waiting for the call. And he takes the snap. He's got some time, and looks like it was a little mix-up between Okendo and Kimron, and Kimron throws to an area that he thought Okendo might be in, but was not there. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 12. He did get protection there, had a clean pocket, but a little bit of miscommunication. So Taft is running things fast. They're right up to the line of scrimmage, and I think they drew Suffield offside. It's a free play, and they're taking a shot, which you should, and it's incomplete. That was intended for Thomas Regan with Ryan Sims on the coverage for Suffield. So it's an incompletion, but Taft will gain 5 yards on the defensive offsides. Kimron doing a nice job there. It's an open play for him, so you might as well take a shot. That's what they would teach quarterbacks. So 3rd and 7 now for Taft. Suffield pressed up on the outside. The give is to Hairston. He cuts back, finds a seam. He's not going to have the first down, but did get a few yards. That's Bjork again on the tackle. And that'll bring up a 4th and 5 for Taft at the 29-yard line. So big play here early, and they get right to it. They don't waste any time. A half roll from Kimron. He's going to throw to an open receiver. I don't know whether he got the first, though. That was to Marco Watson, and it's going to be really close. Looked like he had the first for a few minutes or initially, but I think Suffield might have stopped him before the sticks. We'll see where the ball's spotted. And, yes, the Suffield defense holds, and will take over. Huge defensive stand for the Tigers after the turnover. So Suffield takes over. And so far, the defenses have been strong for both sides. Suffield with two receivers down to the near side. Summers the lone back. And the give is to Summers. It's a little split zone action, but he is met at the line and tackled. That looked like Brian Oliver again. Oliver making his presence felt early. No gain on the play. And McKenzie takes the snap. It's going to be a quick throw to the outside. That's Kai Young with the catch. He breaks a tackle and fights for a few more yards and has a first down, the first down of the game. Good delivery by Zach McKenzie, a timing route. It was a quick out. Young was not seeing the ball when it was thrown. That's intended. It's a timing route. Made a nice catch and then managed to break a tackle and get the first down. So Suffield, 1st and 10 on the 35. And the snap to McKenzie. They're going to throw right away. He's got some running room. He did this well last week and slides down. Looks like a gain of 4 on the play for McKenzie. So second and actually just a gain of 3. So 2nd and 7. And McKenzie takes the snap. He gives to Summers. Summers met in the hole. And that's the safety, J.P. Antonio, making a stop. They brought the safety up, and he's a really fine tackler and finished it alone. So no gain on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 7. Suffield at their best, as I mentioned, when they have balance. So they really haven't had much success with the run early, but need to continue showing a little bit of both. And Summers, if he has a seam, has shown the ability to break it. So 3rd and 7. Taft now with just 3 down linemen. So it doesn't look like they're bringing the pressure here. A little bit of movement first, but I think they blew it dead, so unless there was contact, this will go against the offense. But if there was contact by the nose guard, then we'll see what the refs decide here. I didn't see movement from Suffield, but most of the time you'll leave the play going unless there was contact. So, yes, it's a false start against Suffield. Might have been some movement on the ball there by the center. That's the only thing I could have missed. So, all right, so that puts Suffield now back at 3rd and 12. Advantage Taft in this situation. Let's see if Suffield can come up with a play. Taft now with just a 3-3 front, and they've got three deep safeties and the corners pressed up. So, looks like a little bit of their prevent defense. And they do have the ability to get some rush with 3. They're going to give it to Summers here, though, and see if he can make it on his own. He's fighting through tackles. He was met really after 3 yards, fought through for another 5, but won't be enough to pick up the first down. That'll bring up a 4th and 5 now on Suffield's own 45. And the punting group comes out. think it was Okendo on the tackle there. He was being blocked by one of Suffield's receivers and managed to escape it and make a nice play. So Taft secondary coming up with some good tackles early. So Suffield will punt. And Tyler Spellman, the deep man for Taft. Asatorian takes a half roll and gets a good punt up. It's high. Spellman's going to fair catch it, does a good job catching it, but he's hit. And that's going to be a personal foul there on Suffield. I think Sims' momentum might have just taken him right into Spellman, but that's one that's going to cost him 15 yards. So the penalty is going to cost Suffield 15, and Taft will take over at the 42-yard line. Wasn't much contact by Sims, but he clearly got into Spellman after the catch, and that is 15 every time. So Taft coming out. They've got a tight set now with their three receivers bunched up. So they've got a bunch set to the tight bunch to the top. They're going to split out Okendo to this side. And a new quarterback in as well that I didn't see. And there's the pass to Hairston, who's down the sidelines and finally brought down by Will Napier. So into the game is Matt Pangero at quarterback. Pangero, just a freshman. And I don't know whether Kimrin is hurt or not, but a nice start for Pangero, who got the ball out quickly to Hairston, who was wide open. Oh, and that's going to be a false start on Taft. Pangero, 6'1", 185, so he has good size for a freshman from Cheshire, Connecticut, and a good start for him. So freshman, sophomore in the backfield here for Taft. They've got a young group back there. And he'll take the snap, a quick outside, and that is to Thomas Regan, and Regan is brought down right away. I think the tackle there was made by Torrin Anderson. And it was, and Anderson, another freshman out there. So it's rare you see freshmen playing Class A football at this level, but there's two good ones out there right now. And both have made plays in the last two plays. So Pangero going to take the snap. He gives to Hairston. There's Suffield. No, he didn't give. He fooled me there. So he kept it on the read, which was a good decision because Bjork was all over Hairston, but there were some other Suffield players there to help pick him up. So that'll bring now a third with the penalty there. So now we're at third and about 18 for Taft. Probably not in field goal range yet, so they may want to get some here. Let's see what their strategy is. They have three receivers to this side with a split up top, and I think there was movement again. So another penalty. Taft is going to go backwards. So that's going to bring up third and about 22 or 23. This is a down where you're either going to air it out, but draw a screen is usually a common play in this situation. The Tigers had trouble tackling in the defensive backfield last week, so let's see how it goes. No, Pangero's going to get back. There's the screen to Hairston, and he's got room to run with some linemen in front. And there it is. So the screen pass to Hairston out in the open. Taft did a nice job setting it up, and nobody home there for Suffield. And that's a gain of about 40 on the play. That'll put Taft at the 2-yard line. It's a play that Taft's used, at least in the last couple weeks, for some success, and they executed well there again. The clock still shows 26, but I think they may be calling it a quarter here. They are indeed. All right, so a little discrepancy with our game clock and the official clock, but so that'll be the end of the first quarter. Nothing right now with Suffield and Taft. We got a defensive battle, but Taft taking over a first down at the 2-yard line on an excellent third down conversion. So Pangero remains the quarterback. And he's led them down. So in the backfield now is Steve Soares, excellent linebacker. And again, only a sophomore here. He's more their power back, and he's going to take a few Tigers with him and into the end zone. And Taft is going to be the first on the board here. Although the hands aren't up yet by the officials. They are. So a touchdown for Taft. Steve Soares comes into the game. As I mentioned, he's primarily a linebacker and a really good young one. But he does handle the ball at times, and he rumbles home for the first points of the game. And the snap's down, it's clean, and it is through the upright. So Taft, the first on the scoreboard, takes a 7-0 lead. The big play on the drive, a third and about 22. Screen pass down the sideline for about 40 for Taft. Beautiful night here at Suffield Academy. The theme is a blackout for the student body. We've got a big crowd on hand to witness a game against two excellent schools and programs. We were busy on campus here today at Suffield. Just about every team, in fact, every team was home, including a cross-country race, our Gordy Glover Invitational that ran right through campus. So it was a beautiful day and a great day for Suffield. Suffield and Taft battled earlier in soccer right on this field. It was right before this game. Two of the best programs in New England, and Taft was able to come out with that one with a 3-1 victory. So Summers is going to take the kickoff. He handles it inside the 5. He makes one move, but he bounces into Sanders, his own teammate, and there's a flag down as well. So took a little bit too long developing there on the kick return. I think he was trying to read his blocks, but wound up running into one of his blockers. And we'll see what the flag is. And it's a block in the back on Suffield, so that's going to put them back, I think, inside their 10-yard line here to start. Not ideal, facing a 7-0 deficit early. Ball will be right at the 10-yard line. So we'll see what Suffield can do here now on their third offensive possession. I mentioned before, Suffield has a really talented, big offensive line, and in order for them to have success, they need to be able to run the ball here a little bit, but it's not going to be easy against Taft's defensive front. The H-back Bjork comes in motion. The gives is to Summers. He's got a little hole there, and he squeaks through it. And the tackle on the play was made by, that's Jaden Allen, the defensive back. So Taft's running around to the football. Their defensive backs making their presence felt at the line of scrimmage a couple times now. Or I shouldn't say line of scrimmage. We got a gain of 3. The initial hole was there, but Allen came up to close it. So Summers the lone back. And they balance it out, bringing Bjork down to this side. So it's 2-by-2 for Suffield. McKenzie's going to drop back. He's looking for Summers. Summers with the catch. He's got great hands as well. And it looks like a pickup of about 6, and he does have the first down. So Summers out of the backfield. It's a 6-yard gain, and actually could have it wrong. Nope, it was just a pickup of 3. I had the wrong line there. So that'll bring up 3rd and 4. One of Suffield's big plays last week was Summers out of the backfield, who caught it and went about 75 yards. If he gets out in the open, it's hard to catch him. That time it was closed down. 3rd and 5 for Suffield. Big play. McKenzie's got time. He's going up top. That's to Young. There was contact on the play, but no call. And that was Jaden Allen on the coverage. So Allen, a big series for him defensively, and that's going to force Suffield into a punting situation deep in their own territory. There was contact, which is allowed as long as the ball's not in the air. But that got out quick, and not much separation there for Kai Young from Allen. So a good defensive play. And Taft, if they field this well, will take over in good field position. Spellman is back. Oh, it's a bad snap, and they almost blocked it, but he didn't. Asitorian did a great job getting it off, and Suffield will down it at the 50. So Taft will take over in great field position, but it was almost better field position. So Suffield should feel fortunate they got it off. Asitorian, an excellent athlete, allows him to, at times, get up and save a bad snap or potentially run with the ball if Suffield choose to fake. That was not a good fake opportunity there. So 2 backs now in the backfield, and Cameron back in the game. And the gives to Soares. Soares powering ahead, keeping the legs churning, but is brought down after a gain of about 5. The tackle on the play. Ooh, they must be mixing up. Oh, that's Manilow, who wears number 7. Listed a little differently in the program. So he'll switch from time to time and put on a big boy number if we need him on offense. So Manilow with the stop. And Cameron is back. He fakes to Hairston, and he's going deep. It's good coverage out there. And the ball wasn't intended out there for Marco Watson, but really good coverage by Suffield. And a good pass by Cameron. He put it in a place where it could have been caught. Would have been a good one, though. So chalk that one up to good defense. And I believe that was the freshman Anderson on the coverage. So strong play early by the youngster. And here's the snap. 3rd and 6. Cameron gets it out to Watson, and he's got some running room. He found the hole. Anderson with the tackle. Suffield in a zone there. Watson. Suffield in a zone there, and Cameron was able to find Watson wide open. Good job by Watson reading the coverage and finding the soft spot in the zone, and Cameron delivers. So that's a gain of about 15 for Taft, and they'll have 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Hairston, the lone back. And the give is to him. Oh, Suffield had some pressure on the edge, couldn't bring him down, and out into the open field before Summers makes the tackle. Oh, and a flag down late. Looks like there was some little business after the whistle. We'll see where this plays out. Sanders had some penetration initially off the edge, but Hairston was able to slip through his grasp and rumble forward for about 12 yards. Referees huddled up to decide how they're going to call this one. And it's going to be a personal foul against Taft, so it'll remain 1st down, but that's going to take them back 15 yards. So a nice 1st down play by Taft negated. Still going to stay 1st and 10 because it was after the play. So 1st and 10 now, Taft from the 38-yard line. They're stacked up, both receivers to two sides. They're trying to split Suffield's defense out, but Suffield gets penetration and brings Hairston down. Finn Bjork was the first in there, slid off him, and then the tackle made by Theo Dengler. Taft trying to go 2-by-2 and really split their receivers out wide, and Suffield was not fooled and did not stretch. Bjork with the early penetration. So that brings up 2nd and 15. Cameron getting the call from the sideline. And Hairston's in motion. Oh, they faked it out to him and then run an inside screen. And a tackle's broken and still running. So that one went to Damon Hibbert. So a nice play design there by Whitley as they flared Hairston out of the backfield, then came back inside with an inside screen. Couple good screen calls here by Taft. And that time it's designed to go up the middle. It comes back up the middle but behind the offensive line who's already downfield, and a big play. So 1st and 10 now for Taft. They're at the 20-yard line. They have trips down to the near side. Give us to Hairston. Not much space again right away. Napier was in there to start, and then it was Bjork from the near side who wound up bringing him down. So 2nd and 10 now for Taft, and they really work quickly offensively. They don't give much time for Suffield to get set. They're running as many plays as quick as possible. This time the pass is to Hairston. Might have been backwards, and I believe it was, but the ball did go out of bounds. Well, we'll see what they call there. No, they're calling it incomplete. Not so sure that was a forward pass, but evidently the refs thought it was. So it'll be 3rd and 10 now. So that was the same look as the inside screen. This time they threw to Hairston, but just overthrown. When Cameron struggled, the ball seems to sail a bit. As Cameron drops back, and he's going to hit Hairston out of the backfield, wide open room, and he's in for the into the end zone for a touchdown. Boy, they're really using the back out of the backfield well. That time not a screen pass, but A design play where all the receivers go to the far side, and Cameron snuck out through the middle of the line into the flat. Nobody home for Suffield, likely in man-to-man coverage and not picked up. And the extra point getting set here. It's a good snap and a good kick. Good operation for Taft, and that puts them up 14-0 now. We have 5:59 left in the second quarter, and Suffield's in a hole. A lot of credit there to the play calling of Tyler Whitley and Taft as they really used the back out of the backfield well. And a couple big plays, or a big play, and they wind up in the end zone. So Suffield has the firepower to come back. We know that. Last week they were in a huge hole at the half and managed to get it to 7. We'll get within a 7 at the end. And here's the kick. This one's going to come up short of the end zone. All right, so Summers gets it there at the 2. He's got a seam early, breaks a tackle, still going. The seam did close up. It looked like it could be more for a little bit, but a good return for Suffield. They're out over the 30-yard line. They'll take over at the 32. And getting some clarification here, the extra point looked good to me, but in fact was not good. So just 13-0 Taft on the missed extra point. All right, so Suffield needing to put something together here. Trailing 13-0. Summers the lone back. It's a bootleg here. And McKenzie's going to throw out to Kai Young, who makes the catch, but he was out of bounds on the reception. Young running about a 12-yard out. And McKenzie with a strong delivery, but just out of bounds. Couldn't drag the toe. So that brings up a 2nd and 10 for Suffield. And the give is to Summers. He gets through an initial hole, but Soares is there to meet him and drag him down. Not much there. He was able to pick up a yard on the play. Soares very active from the linebacker position. And he filled that hole quick. So Suffield facing a 3rd and 9 here. Big play early here for the Tigers. McKenzie's had time mostly. And it's just a 3-man rush. They'll bring a 4th. He's going to go deep here. This is to Pappas down the sidelines, and it's just off his hands. Pretty good coverage on the play. It was a ball that Pappas maybe could have got, but it would have been a really good catch. A good throw by McKenzie, but just off the fingertips. Nathan Ike on the coverage. And he was in trail position. Pappas had a step on him, but ball was delivered well, but just off the fingertips of Pappas. So Suffield forced a punt again. Spellman will be back to receive. And it's a good snap. And Asutorian gets it off. Going to get a good bounce on this. So it was a low one, but a low one that had the look that it would bounce pretty good, and it did. So no return on the play. And the ball was down at the 27-yard line. So we've got 34 seconds left in the half. We'll see if Taft elects to take a few shots here or whether they're comfortable going in with a 13-0 lead at the half. I'm sorry, there's a mix-up there with the clock. So there's 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the half. And there's Cameron running a little zone read action. He kept and booted around to the side. So, yeah, I got a little confused when I looked at the clock suddenly and saw 34 seconds, and it was not accurate. So 4 minutes, 38 seconds left in the half, so plenty of time here left in the half. All right, Taft splitting out. Again, they're in that stacked wide position, but they're going to throw out of it. Pressure on Kimron right away, and he's going to go down. And that was Napier blitzing from the middle linebacker spot who brought him down. There was pressure by Bjork right away. Forced Kimron up in the pocket, and Napier makes the play. So Suffield has been able to get pressure. It's been really plays out of the backfield to Hairston that have hurt him most. They hit the pass in the middle of the zone to Watson one time as well. But so 3rd and 10, draw a screen potentially. We'll see. Well, it looks like they got Suffield to jump. A free play for Taft, and they're going to go for it. Ooh, they had him open. They had Thomas Regan open on the free play, but could not deliver. And I believe it's going to be 5 against Suffield here to bring up a 3rd and 5. Taft went with the hard count, and Suffield took the bait. So 3rd and 5 here for the Rhinos. Their true spread 2-by-2 with Hairston in the backfield. And Cameron's going to throw. He's throwing a quick out here. That was intended for Pangero. And I would guess that's the older brother of Matt Pangero, who was in earlier. That's Chris Pangero, who's a junior. But they could not connect. So a good stop for Suffield. Much needed. And it brings up a 4th and 6. Be important for Suffield to stay disciplined here and stay on side. And if they go for the punt, make sure they stay off the punter. Kai Young is deep for Suffield. The snap is low, and I don't think it was blocked, but it was not a good kick. Went off the side of the foot. Might have got a piece of it. But Suffield's going to take over in great field position. We'll see. The ref is still walking up the sidelines here, and it looks like he's going to stop at the Taft 43-yard line. So a great stop by the Tigers. And then the benefit of a poor kick, or really poor operation where the snap was low. And Suffield will take over at the 43-yard line. So a big drive here for Suffield coming. 3:36 left in the first half. They've had trouble moving the ball here against Taft. Do have a couple first downs, and they do have a turnover. So Let's see what the Tigers come up with to figure out the Taft defense. Taft in their regular front, four-man front right now. Occasionally they'll go to that three-man on passing down to give us to Summers, but no room there. And there is big Okeleke making the play. He's made his presence felt early, both him and Brian Oliver. We came into the game knowing that they had an outstanding interior defense, and both players are making their presence felt early. So that's a loss of 3 on the play for the Tigers. And brings up 2nd and 13. Bjork, the H-back down to this side. They like to go to him in this situation, and they're going to throw out to Young. The ball sailed a little bit high and out of bounds. So 3rd and 12. McKenzie had some time there. He did get some pressure late that might have caused the ball to sail. But those deep outs are not easy to complete anyway. It's a tough pass to complete. It's a long pass. So that brings up 3rd and 12 from the 47-yard line. A half roll from McKenzie, nothing there. He's going to scramble when he can, but he's stopped. And that was number 88. I'll get his numbers here. That's Mac Trombley on the play. McKenzie was able to pick up a yard, but it's 4th and 12 from about the 45-yard line, and Suffield is bringing their punting unit out with 2:25 now in the half. And I would agree with this decision. You know, if you've got 4th and maybe less than 10, certainly if you're in the 40, inside the 40 or less, you're going to go. But here, you would be leaving Taft with great field position. We'll see if they go on ahead and elect a kick. Asatorian can run. No, he's going to kick it away. That's Hairston back who completes the catch. It was a fair catch at about the, looks like the 10-yard line. Sorry, not Hairston. That was Spellman. And there is a flag down on the play. And it looks like it's against Taft. We'll see what the call is. They're talking to Coach Sedian here. Or maybe well, it looks like they're bringing him back. It was against the Tigers. They had a conversation here. It might have been a sideline infraction. Could be. I see the referee to this side threw the flag, and I didn't see the call from the lead official, but the way he was discussing things with Chris Sedian and then looking over at the Tigers sideline, I think it might have been a sideline infraction. So that's unfortunate because Suffield got a good kickoff and really would have had Taft pinned back. But they're going to do it again, this time from the 50, and there's a timeout on the field. Suffield students out en masse tonight. It's the first night game. It's a beautiful night. And the defense has played well at times. Tigers not able to get anything going offensively to excite that crowd yet. 1:57 left in the half. They'll be punting. It's a high snap. Asatorian, they're going to fake it, and it goes to Summers. He's got a block. And I think he came up just short of the first down. They brought Summers from this side into the backfield. He got a head of steam. Really, boy, when he gets going, he can run. He beat a man to the sideline, but I think came up just 2 yards short of the first down. So Taft will take over, it looks like, the 35-yard line. Not a complete loss as they gained 15 on the play. So they weren't able to gain positive yards to push Taft back to the 35-yard line and almost picked up the first down. Just couldn't quite get there. So it's Taft ball, and we'll see what they elect to do here. There's 1:49 left in the half. They're set up 2-by-2 true spread formation, and they're going to pass. Kimron looking to the far side, complete, and an easy one to Thomas Regan. That was a simple hitch route with Suffield playing off coverage, and that's an easy 10 yards for Taft to start the possession. 8 yards. And they got out of bounds. So that brings up a 2nd and 2. All options open here. Plenty of time. And Kimron's back to pass. Oh, here's the screen. And Hairston has room. He's got a couple blockers out in front of him. And finally, Kai Young comes up to make the tackle. There is a flag down, and I believe that's going to be unnecessary roughness on one of the Taft linemen, who I think had a hit that was a little bit late while guys were standing around. But we'll wait for the confirmation on the call. So screens have been really a dagger here for the Tigers. They've got to find a way to adjust to those, but I think this one's going to come back 15 yards. It was a pickup of about 20, looked like about 20 for Taft on the play, maybe more. Both teams have already come back up the field, so we're anticipating the call to be against Taft, but we'll wait for confirmation here. So actually there were 2 flags on the play. The first one I thought might have been contact interference is what I heard, which could have been a lineman. Well, if the ball was thrown past the line of scrimmage, which it was on the screen, then the lineman cannot get downfield first. So I think that was the initial call. But then the personal foul brings it back 15 more. So we'll see where they spot the chains here. Well, they've got a first down up, but if there was a penalty during the play, so both plays had to have been post after the play. So maybe they were 2 unsportsmanlikes there against Taft. So that's really going to hurt them. Brought them back 30 yards, but it's 1st and 10 again because they were both post play. Snap back to Kimron. He hits. That's Spellman on the outside with a quick out, just a gain of 5. The Tigers will take that, and they're leaving the clock running, I believe. They stopped their momentum there, so the clock is running. They got out of bounds, but the referees ruled that his initial contact or that he had been stopped. So clock is running. We're down to 48 seconds. Kimron back to pass. He's going up top. Was looking again for Spellman, but it's incomplete. And now the Tigers here with 48 seconds may want to think about a timeout on their end if they get a stop. They don't have to now, obviously. All right, so 3rd and 7. Kimron takes the ball out to Spellman. It's a quick pass, and the Tigers a little soft there on the defensive outside. allow the first down. So that was easy. Pass and catch for 7 and a first down for Taft. Boy, that's a play where, would have been a big play for the Tigers to stop that first down, and it was just a pass and catch. But completion there for Taft, and they're back at it right away. Cameron throws. That was intended for Pangero, but incomplete. We're having issues with the clock, so I don't know how much time is left. It keeps jumping around here, so I'm assuming they know on the field. So it's 2nd and 10, and I know under a minute left. Cameron takes the snap. There's Bjork with the pressure. Here's the screen pass, and that was to the receiver on the outside this time. They've got a variety of them. That's Thomas Regan. So that's a wide receiver screen over the middle. And, whoa, looks like after the play we have some more yellow laundry. So we're going to see what the call is here. Bjork had some pressure, but, again, the pass was intended to be a screen, and it was executed well, this time from the wide receiver coming back over the middle. Executing screen passes it takes a lot of practice, but boy, when you get them right and you can execute, they are effective. And Taft has shown the ability to do it. Boy, another unsportsmanlike conduct after the play on Taft, and that is going to bring them back another 15. So they've had 3 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties after the play on this drive, because they've moved the ball just about on every play, but they're still stuck now at the 46-yard line. So we just got the word up to the booth that there are 46 seconds left in the half. 46. Cameron takes the snap, and he's going to go up top, and he's got a receiver open, and it's caught. That was Watson down the sideline. And a beautifully thrown ball, and he gets out of bounds. So Taft, despite the penalties, find themselves at about the 10-yard. It's going to be the 12-yard line with a first down with 35 seconds left in the half. And they're up and running. Cameron with the pass. Hairston's out of the backfield, and he's got it, and he scores. He's in the end zone. So there it is again, the back out of the backfield. That's their man beater. If Suffield's in man coverage, you can swing that back out of the backfield. It's usually a linebacker that has to pick him up, and the Tigers have had a lot of difficulty doing it. A huge drive for Taft in the waning seconds here of the second quarter. And we'll see how the extra point goes here. Extra point is blocked. They can pick it up for 2. It would be a big boost for Suffield. It's picked up clean by Young. He's got a blocker out in front. He's got to score, and it looks like he will. Big play for Suffield. It's going to get him on the board and hopefully get some momentum going. He got a great block there from Pappas, and he needed it. That was the one man that could have got him, and Young showed his speed. Just 2 points. And that'll bring the score to 19-2. In week 1 against Dexter, Suffield had an extra point taken back for 2 after their first score. It was a big play for Dexter, kind of got them going. And we'll see if this can have an effect on the Tigers and wake them up a little bit offensively. I didn't see who got the block on the punt, but a clean pickup by Young, which is hard to do when you're running full speed. And then a great block from Pappas led to the 2 points. And in that scenario, it's either 2 or nothing, right? So if you're caught inbounds at any point, then it's the same as a missed extra point. So that gets Suffield 2 points. 30 seconds in the half, remaining in the half. And it looks like Young will be back. Deep and back with him is Alex Durego Hurtado, and it goes to, I think it's his first touch at varsity level, and he's hit right away. Alex, just a sophomore, was new to football last year, and I think it's his first varsity touch. Got the ball, got up the field. This leads me to believe, yes, I see Summers is on the bench for Suffield, and that is going to be, if he can't play, that's going to be tough for the Tigers. He's really been their playmaker the last 2 weeks. But Summers remains on the bench. Suffield already having to battle an injury in this early season. They lost arguably the best player in New England in week 2, Caden Bennett, to an ankle injury. And the defense has been able to withstand it and remain fairly strong up front, but that's a big loss, and Summers would be another huge loss for the Tigers. So either way, the Tigers take a knee, and we'll go into halftime with Taft leading 19-2. We'll take a break here and see for the second half. Okay, back here at Holmes Field, ready for second half action with the score. The score is 20-2 Taft. We had some clock issues in the first half that we got corrected, so the extra point that I thought was good and was told was not was actually good for Taft. So it's 20-2. Suffield will be kicking off here to start the second half. And they're going to need to rally, get their defense going, and make some noise here early to get back in this game. They did return a block extra point for their 2 points, which was a big play and a potential momentum shift, but so we'll see whether that can carry it into this half. And we're set to go. Assatorian with the kick, and that's going to be taken by the running back Xavier Hairston. He's got a seam, and it breaks one tackle, and is finally going to be stopped. His momentum is stopped, at least. He was never brought down. Theo Dangler eventually made the stop, but not before Hairston was able to pick up a ton. And a good start for Taft. As they will start, it looks like at the 50-yard line, right on the 50. The Tigers have had their issues tackling in open space this year. It's been something that I know they've been working on, but an area that they clearly need to improve on. So the 2 backs here for Taft. They're not in it often. And the give is to Soares. Soares met by Sanders after a gain of about 2. So Sanders with the initial contact, and then Dangler comes in to clean him up. Gain of 3 on the play to start. And Cameron takes the snap, and it's an inside screen. Just a quick wide receiver screen. That's to Watson, and Watson picks up a gain of 5. So actually gain of 4. So that'll bring up 3rd and 3. Big down here early in the second half. As Suffield can't afford to fall into a deeper hole here, trailing 20-2. 2 backs again here for Taft. Receiver's not quite set, but Coach Whitley has a new play call. And the give is to Soares up the middle, and Soares is stopped. And that was Dangler on the contact to stop him, and he got 1 on the play, but that's going to bring up 4th and 2 and a really big down early to start the second half. No hesitation here from Taft. They're in Suffield territory on the 42, and they will go for it. Looks like they brought in an extra lineman for the play, so they went heavy here. Looks like Soares is the lone back, and it's going to be a quarterback draw, and he got a full head of steam. They got a really good push up front. And Cameron just follows the big guys up front for a gain of about 7, and it's a first down for Taft. Really good push over that right side. And Taft has a first down. So they're split 2 by 2. Hairston the back, and the give is to Hairston. He's up the middle, inside zone play. And that's Manilow on the initial contact, along with, looks like Sims was in there. Even here, Suffield is getting to the ball, but not with much force, right? The running back winds up on his feet. And they've got to find a way to get more black uniforms to the football consistently. And looks like an outside reversed here, but Suffield's all over this one. It's to Bjork's side, and usually when it's to his side, it could be an issue, and he's there to make the play. That was Damon Hibbert on the reverse play, and Taft is going to lose some yardage there. So loss of about 4. That'll bring up 3rd and 11 for Taft. So 3 receivers to the top. They've got trips up top. Hairston the lone back. Suffield's going to rush their 4. Cameron has time and throws to Pangaro. And it's incomplete, just behind him and out of his reach. So that'll bring up 4th and 11 here. And we'll see what Taft decides to do. They're on the 37-yard line, so wouldn't be surprised if they go for it anyway. A punt here could pin Suffield back, but they're going to go for it. In their minds, worst case, they're on. Suffield takes over 37. A half roll here from Kimmer, and then a blitz. He's got a receiver open. They went back to Pangaro, and he made the catch. He found a soft spot in the zone. Might have been matched up man-to-man, but gain of about, looked like about 18 on the play, and it's a first down for Taft, and a little bit too easy for a 4th and 11 play. Suffield did bring some pressure. It might have been as a result of the half roll, but that left the seam wide open, and Taft executes. Two backs in the backfield. Give us to Soares. Soares breaks through the middle. A missed tackle, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Soares breaks a couple tackles after initial contact, and that brings the score to 26-2. Looked like we had some bodies there. The Tigers did initially, but they could not bring Soares down. And he is, for a sophomore, really an impressive-looking athlete. He plays sideline to sideline as a linebacker on defense, and again, he'll get his carries, and he made the most of that one. Taft going to go for 2 here. It's 26-2, 7 minutes left. We got motion here, and Kimmer takes the snap, and the motion man catches the ball in the flat. That was Spellman. Spellman went from motion from the far side to the near side and just released to the flat. And it's a really good concept against man-to-man, depending how Suffield wants to cover that. Sometimes you'll switch, or sometimes you'll just carry the coverage and have the corner come over. But with a running start and then some bodies to get through, it's a tough one to cover. So good execution again by Taft, and a great drive for them to start the half. They got great field position on the initial kick return at the 50. Made a couple 4th down conversions. One a big 4th and 11 conversion. And the score is now 28-2. We've got 7:01 remaining in the third quarter. Here's the kickoff. It's deep. It's nice to see Summers back in there. Deep, but he did not field that one. He let it go through the end zone. So Suffield got cooking late last week and had a lot of success late offensively, and they're going to need it tonight. Summers does come out in the backfield. That's a promising sign, encouraging sign for Suffield and for Summers, who's had a remarkable last 2 weeks. And the give is to Summers. He's over the left side. He was hit in the backfield and brought down. Jonah Oquendo on the play. Summers did manage to get 2. Positive yards are good yards, so 2nd and 8 now for Suffield. Bjork, the H-back, comes in motion to the near side, so we've got trips out to this side. It's a handoff again to Summers, who's going to break to the outside. Tried to get his speed around the end, but Oquendo is there again. Might have been a face mask on the play. It looks like the flag came in just as he was being yanked down. It was on the far side, so hard to see here, but would not be surprised if that was the call. And it is a face mask, so that's going to be 15 extra ones. And a good start to the drive for Suffield. They almost broke that to the outside. Oquendo made a nice play. He was the lone end out to that side / linebacker, but I guess he plays true defensive end. And he did a good job of bringing him down, but just caught the face mask. So Suffield now at the 42-yard line. We've got short motion from Azatorian up top, but I think he went forward a little bit early. Sometimes with that short motion, I think the play design was for him to come across the middle, and he just got moving forward a little bit early. Azatorian from Canada, where that's allowed, so. But not here, so. So a learning moment. Trips to the near side. So now we've got 1st now and 15. Taft just brings 4. Pass up to Bjork. And there was contact up there. It was a really nice throw. The only place where McKenzie could throw it back shoulder to Bjork. Tried to make the play. He's arguing that he was grabbed on the play. But no call. So 2nd and 15. That's the guy you want to throw to out there. He's got sure hands and is a terrific athlete. And Suffield has done a good job getting some mismatches when he's up top alone. And he's up there again. This time to give to Summers. He's got some room in the middle and he darts through for a good gain. A nice run there by Summers. Made at least one linebacker miss. And it's a gain of 7. So that brings up a very manageable now 3rd and 8. We've got 5 minutes now left in the 3rd quarter. Taft with a 28-2 lead. The Tigers go trips to this side. Bjork is the inside slot receiver. And the snap back to McKenzie. He's got a clean pocket, but he does decide to scramble this way. He's going to try and run it this time, but not for enough. He picked up 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up a 4th and 6 for Suffield now at the, looks like the 47-yard line. Their own 47, and I think Coach Setien's going to keep the offense out there, and I think really has no choice but to at this point. The Tigers, if they're going to rally, have to do it now. So, big play here, 4th and 7. Tigers needing a good one here. McKenzie is going to roll out to his left. Nobody there initially. He's going to come back, still scrambling. Managed to elude a few. He's And throws and complete to Bjork, who's got space and room. He's got speed as well across the middle, and he's in for the touchdown. Terrific play. Zach McKenzie bought a ton of time, scrambling around the backfield. Bjork never giving up on the play, came open across the middle, caught the ball, and that's the guy you want to get it to. He's a game changer, and a huge play for Suffield for the touchdown. And give credit there to the offensive line who stayed busy. So McKenzie had to scramble around. He had initial, I thought, good protection, found no receiver, came back down to the right, found no receiver, went back up to the left, and then found Bjork, who never gave up on the play, scrambling across the middle, and he finished it with a fine run. So that's a 53-yard TD reception, and the extra point is up and good by Asutarian. Huge play by the Tigers, and they needed it. And that'll make the score 28-10. 28-9. Well, when they needed a play, the Tigers went to their two-way guy that really has made an impact on both sides. And terrific delivery by McKenzie. Hit him in stride after scrambling around, and Bjork showing off some really good speed for his size. And it gets Suffield their first touchdown of the night. We've got 3:41 left in the third. Suffield proved last week. Last week they were down 41-7 to Brunswick at one point, and never really, they only closed it to a score right at the end of the game, but they did have an opportunity with a minute left for an onside kick. And here is the onside kick that worked once last week. Great job fielding it there. No hands team on deck for Taft there, but they did a great job of fielding it. And I'm going to get you the number and name. That's Mac Trombley, who, no hesitation, he was actually backpedaling there to begin with. They got Taft where they wanted to. They started to bail back. Not a bad kick by Assatorian, but it was fielded with confidence, which is what you need to do by Trombley, and that's a big play. So Taft will take over on their own 46. And there's a jet sweep here. That was Spellman now. Spellman in motion on the jet sweep. And he got outside for a gain of 6. So a good start for Taft with the 6-yard gain on first down. I will call it 5. So 2nd and 5. Tight bunch set for Taft. And they're back to pass. And there's that same play. Boy, that's the bunch set that they found Watson open in the middle, and he was open again there in the zone. But Cameron just missed him on that one. So that brings up a 3rd and 5. Big play here. The Tigers really needing a stop. 2 backs in the backfield here. Hairston a little deeper. They're going to give it to Soares, and he's got room, and he's tough to stop when he has space. And he's carrying multiple runners, so they haven't shown the 2-back set too often in their previous games, but that one with Suffield keying Hairston, they went to Soares on the other side, and he had some good running room. Taft really getting a good push to that right side. And we're able to pick up the first down. So, ball on the 39. Taft slowing things down a bit. They were super fast in their play calls to start. Still not taking a ton of time. Tight bunt set now. Hey, again, just overshot there. That was Watson. That bunt set is giving the Tigers some troubles. There were multiple receivers open on that play. Usually when you get that set, you'll switch to some sort of zone, because with the receivers so tight together, it's really difficult to play true man. So 2nd and 10, then the clock stops. Give us to Hairston. Hairston over that right side again. He's got space. He's in the open. We saw this last week. Not many Tigers there, and he's home for the touchdown. 37-yard touchdown run by Xavier Hairston. And Taft is on the board again. And the two-point conversion on the quick rollout is just out of the reach of Regan, so they don't convert on the 2. But they extend the lead now to 34-9. Taft running behind their big offensive tackle, Max Hoke. And they've had some success there. I'll get you that right guard's number too next series, because they've really had some success running to the right side, and we always credit the skill guys in the backs. They're easy to spot, but those big guys are doing the dirty work, and they're doing a terrific job for Taft. So 34-9 is the score. 2:11 left. Kick is deep, and Summers is going to let it go through the end zone, so Suffield will take over at the 25-yard line. I guess the bright side is not a lot of time came off the clock, so there is time left. And Suffield really needing some big plays. They got one on the last possession. So Suffield starting from their 25. McKenzie's going to take the shotgun snap. He's got time. Really good protection by the line, but he's scrambling around again, and I guess that's okay. He's going to run for it on his own. He's got some open space here, and he slides down for a gain of 13 yards. There is a flag in the backfield, though, that I think this one is coming back. And it is. It's a block in the back on Suffield, and that is going to move them back inside their 20. Taft just rushing 3, so they had time to scramble around, and that can be effective, but it can also create some confusion for your linemen. They're a little bit out of position, and sometimes that's when the block in the back can happen, even if it's not blatant or even unintentional sometimes. So that brings Suffield back to their 15, and it's still first down. So first and 20 here for Suffield. Taft in their 4-man front. Initial hole by Summers. It's a good cut, and he explodes over to the left side. So a one cut and go for Summers, and a good gain, and one they needed. Looks like about a gain of 9. J.P. Antonio a little banged up on the play. Trainers will come out to assist him. He did get up initially, and he's going to take his time and get tended to. Antonio has made some fine plays from the safety position. And the good part here is he's putting weight on both legs. He is slow to get off and getting assisted, but hopefully he can get tended to, and then may not see him back here tonight. They may not need him, but a fine player for Taft that they'll certainly want back soon. Second and 12 here for Suffield. Kenzie going to half roll to his left. Nobody open, and I don't know. He does get away. And, in and out of the hand of Summers. Good move there by McKenzie to get out of trouble. The ball came out a little wobbly, and sometimes those are hard to catch, but it was right in Summers' hands. He did have some defenders tracking him rather quick, so 3rd and 12 now for Suffield. Suffield with trips to the top. Bjork is the inside man. I'm sure that Taft knows they got to pay attention to him. 3-man rush. But it still gets to McKenzie. He never brought down, but called in the grass. Brian Oliver came off the edge, and he was the first one there. Didn't make the tackle, but Jude Okeleke was there to clean things up and make the sack. And those two have been as advertised. And that forces Suffield into a punt, which at this point in the game they would surely not like to do, but they almost have to right now, facing 4th and 20 from their own 16-yard line. Asutarian is back. It's a good snap, little half roll, and he gets a good kickoff, and it's fair caught there by Spellman. And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. So through 3 quarters, Taft has come to Holmes Field and had a lot of success, leading 34-9. And my guess is they may slow their tempo offense down a little bit here, but who knows? They were playing lightning fast to start the game, which is obviously been a benefit, and they've done a great job of it. Oh, here's a hitch and go. They've got a receiver open, just overthrown. He actually had Spellman open on the inside, but opted to go outside. I think to Pongaro, but just overthrown. Cameron pumped once, and that sometimes will draw a defense up, and the receivers did get behind the Suffield defense. Now they're going to fake the handoff and a quick screen to the quick bubble screen to the outside, and a lot of running room there for Thomas Regan. The Tigers had no edge out there in the defensive backfield, so if you can get outside on a bubble screen, there's nobody else out there if we're not cornered with the defense. So a big gain by Taft after initial incomplete pass, and they're now on the Suffield side of the field on the, looks like the 33-yard line. Give us to Hairston. He makes one cut, cuts back, and again, smooth sailing there for Hairston. "33-yard touchdown run for Xavier Hairston, and Taft has extended a commanding lead. Snap is down, and the point is up and good. And Taft now leads 41-9. Tigers got to dig deep here. Last week they played 4 quarters. They were down early and never gave in. Actually gave themselves a chance at the end, and would love to see that here in this last 10:58. But they've got to get guys to the football, and they've got to buy into tackling a little bit more. And the kick is deep. It lands in play, but goes through the end zone, and Suffield will take out on the 25-yard line. And that part of what the fast tempo offense will do is it tires teams out, and Suffield is looking a little bit tired right now, but let's see if they can pull something together. A little gut check time for the Tigers. Outcome might be decided, but some success here will go a long way to the rest of the season. There's Summers up over the middle. A good first down gain for Suffield. That's a 5-yard pickup. McKenzie's going to pass, and he throws to Bjork over the middle. Easy pass and catch, and Bjork picks up. Oh, no. He's down a little bit, limping off, but he's up and good. So pickup of looked like about 12 on the play. McKenzie back to pass again, and that's just a hitch to the outside. And Asutorian with the catch. Positive yards on first down, we'll take it. That's a gain of 6 on the play. Suffield right now taking what the defense gives them. And to me, the most important thing is they establish a drive here. Have some success to carry on into next week. McKenzie back to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket, throws to the sideline, and another catch. Really good ball there by McKenzie. And Asutorian with his second catch in a row. So McKenzie rolling to his left, threw back to the sideline. That's not an easy pass to make. He put it right on the money. Good catch by Asutorian, and McKenzie's going to throw again. A little heat here by Taft, and they're going to throw up to this sideline, and that looked like it was intended for Ryan Sims, who will occasionally get some offensive reps as well, but just overthrown. Not much separation. Good coverage on the play. Bring up 2nd and 10. Jaden Allen on the coverage. He's had a nice night. Early pressure from McKenzie. He's going to scramble again. And throw deep, and he's got a receiver open. It's Summers. Touchdown! McKenzie bought some time, and that can be effective against, Taft's bigger interior. It's hard to catch. And Summers didn't give up on the play, managed to sneak behind the defense. There is a flag on the play. And we'll see what the call is here. Okay. So there's 2 penalties on the play. They're going to offset, and the play will come back. So what happened is Summers had initially been forced out of bounds. And as soon as he's out of bounds, then he cannot catch the football. So the ruling was he was forced out of bounds early and then came back in and caught the ball. Hard to tell if it was the right call or not, but the play comes back. And the second foul was a roughing the passer call on Taft, and that's what offsets it. Offsetting is I use loosely because it certainly hurts Suffield more than Taft, but that's the rule. Here comes Taft. They're going to bring heat this time. It's going to be tough to get away from this heat, and McKenzie throws it away. So they brought Soares up the middle there on the blitz, and Soares a terrific athlete. He was going to be a tough one to get away from. So McKenzie wisely threw it away. A lot of times you see that blitz, and it's a good time to take a shot. You know you have man-to-man coverage across the board. So if you have anybody going deep, that's the time to take a shot. But didn't work out that way. 3rd and 10, and they're coming again. So both middle linebackers were edging their way up, and I think gave away their blitz. But and Suffield saw it, but unfortunately caused them to jump. So they'll move back 5 yards. Caused them to delay the snap a little bit. They were able to figure out the defense, which is obviously an advantage. You know the blitz is coming, but your receivers get a little bit antsy there as well, and that's what caused the offsides. We're under pressure early again. McKenzie scrambles. He's not going to get away from this one. And he's sacked. Kevin Sestari making the play. And it's a sack and a loss for Suffield, who will face now 4th and 20. And they bring Asutorian on the punt. The scrambling has worked for McKenzie on a few occasions, but not sure if they had anything there, but you've got to trust your reads as well. So the punt is fielded this time by Damon Hibbert, and Hibbert manages, good job fielding it, by the way. It's a great, he's saving at least 10 yards with the fielding it, and then he advances the ball for 7 yards. So that's the way to do it. Getting your punt returners to catch the football is a crucial part of the game. It can save you yards, and the return is almost secondary. Obviously, he added some yards on top of it, but catching the ball, and it's not easy to do. Give us to Hairston, and Bjork is there. Bjork playing an outstanding game here for Suffield. He doesn't leave the field often. Plays defensive end, and that time they ran away from him, but he slid back inside to make the tackle. Hairston gets the ball, and he's met in the backfield. And it's both, that's Sanders there. And I believe Luke Banco, he's got his shirt yet. That's Banco. Banco with the initial contact there. Came free inside, makes the play in the backfield. That'll bring up a 3rd and 9. Third and 9. It's Pongaro in that quarterback now. He's going to scramble, and he's caught before he can reach the first down. Theo Dengler on the play. And Taft will be forced to punt. It's the first punt for Taft in some time. Kai Young is back to receive it. We've got 5:05 and counting. 41-9 is the score. Clean snap. Suffield with some pressure, but not much. Ball's going to bounce. And bounce a little bit more, and bounce out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 41-9 the score. Looks like Taft is going to keep most of their starters out there. McKenzie takes the snap. He's going to throw deep here. Overthrown. Looks like Pappas had a step there, but right off the bat, it looked like the ball had just sailed a little bit on McKenzie. Three men. McKenzie's going to roll to the near side and throw. Did get some pressure there that forced him to come up a little early, probably throw a little earlier than he wanted to. Mac Tremblay applying the pressure. We'll bring up a 3rd and 10. 4:27 left in the game. Suffield with trips to this side. They've got Bjork up top, and my guess with some help. That's what I would do, but McKenzie, he's going to throw to Bjork. No, he's open. Nobody over the top and just out of the reach of Bjork. Gosh, he had 3 or 4 steps. But they could not connect. Safety was late getting over. I'm not sure whether the corner expected help. I think anytime you've got Bjork split out as a defense, you're going to want some help over the top. There was none, and he did have some steps there, but just out of the reach. And he was pumping those arms trying to get under it. No chance at that one, though. 4th down. Suffield's going to go for it here. McKenzie takes the snap. A little bit of pressure early. He's going to try and run for it. Hey, he makes a guy miss. Makes 2 miss. And scrambles for the 1st down. A nice move there. Nice run by McKenzie. So Suffield stays alive here with the ball. Pickup of about 20. And they'll have a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. I suppose it gets tricky putting in some subs at this level with the athletes that are out there and maybe the discrepancy in size, but 41-9 is a comfortable lead with 3:41 left. McKenzie, while scrambling, fumbled the ball. He's still scrambling around, though. He's going to deliver. He gets brought down and incomplete. Just had to get rid of it in the end. Jonah Okendo with the pressure and eventual takedown of McKenzie as he was throwing it. Summers the lone back. Taft blitzing the linebackers, and that's the read McKenzie needed to make, and that was a good ball and just through the arms of Bjork. He won't miss many of those, but fatigue for him, I'm sure, is setting in some. He is a warrior. He's out there on the field almost the whole game, and that one was one I know he'd like to have back. So that brings up a 3rd and 10. And the snap to McKenzie. Okendo with early pressure. McKenzie steps up. He's going to go deep here. Looks like to Sims, and it's intercepted. Damon Hibbert with the interception and returned it about 20 yards to the 25-yard line. Both teams running shotgun offense, no huddle, speeds the game up, but also it creates a lot of plays. And a lot of plays can wear you down a bit. So Taft comes out with their starting offensive line. They have subbed in the backfield. And Bjork is there with the tackle. Sanders also in on that. We'll try to get the numbers for you. I'm a little delayed in it just because they were given to me not in numerical order on their roster. So that's the... But that was Owen Palmer on the carry. I mentioned the offensive line for Taft, and we got to give those guys a shout out. I'm going to get most of them. Max Hoke, the big right tackle. Will Palmer is the center. Miles Pettigene, the right guard. And I'll get you that left side too. But those guys have done a great job, particularly the second half. Snap back. And the give again is to Owen Palmer. And he's met there at the line of scrimmage. Logan Scott, another one of the linemen for Taft. And Colin Overy. So those are your big boys on the offensive line who've done a terrific job tonight. And the clock is running. We got 1:27. Third down now. And 9. And now they're taking their time. And they'll run another snap here. My guess is a give to Palmer. And it is. Palmer threw a big seam. Bryce Summers up for the tackle. That creates a fourth down situation unless they let this run under 40, which might be the right thing to do here before they run this clock. Well, looks like Taft may have to at least run a play. If I was officiating, I would be. And they may be doing this. They may let the clock run out here. And they will. So Taft comes to Holmes Field with a terrific performance on both sides of the ball. And they come away with a 41-9 win. Credit to them. So as the players shake hands, want to thank everybody for tuning in. Beautiful night here at Holmes Field. And we'll see you next week.